It's time to pull this headliner out. Of course, the material liner is already gone, but I gotta get this cardboard, foam, whatever material out of here so I can replace it or do whatever I gotta do to make it look a little more presentable. Plus, I have a rack on the roof that is screwed onto the roof that I can't get to the back side of the bolts because this is in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it all out and get this problem fixed today. I'm gonna try to remove any lights or anything attached on the outside. Now this is a 2000 Nissan Frontier, and this one has a wiring plug on the back. You see how you do it. It's wrapped in foam, so it's a little hard to see how it separates. I hate these things because you can never tell which way to go with them, and you always hate to break them. Yeah, basically you take a screwdriver and you pry around the three sides to get this little kind of clip off, and that allows you to do I'm not sure what yet. Seems like you would just push it in on the side here, but it doesn't seem to do it. I have to do it the way I always do it, just break it and then find out what caused it to stay in. I'm in the process of destroying it, and I got it disconnected, but it's still connected. There we go, wiggling it out. Got it out. Now the way this actually works, now that I've got it out, is there's a clip on the side right here that if I would have pushed in down lower, I probably could have got it out. Anyway, I got it off. Now behind here are these little clips, and they just kind of pop out. Probably take a screwdriver and you can kind of get them out. And they look like that. Several of these around the car, so I'm just going to pull them all out. And try to pop these out. These are a lot bigger. I'm not sure if they just pop out the same way or not. And they kind of do. They're a little different. And I'm just going to work around it with the screwdriver. They make special tools for everything. And I'm guessing this has a tool that looks like this that pries out. Gets both sides at once. It's coming. There you go. Got it out. And we're going to try to pull out this sunblock visor. Got the one clip on this side, which we already know comes out with a Phillips and a drill, and it's got a pressed into the ceiling. And then you got two more Phillips screws over here. Got this sucker out. Taking this little strip off below the windows. I believe it has something to do with holding this piece around the edge in. So got that off. 4 screws to get that off. Now to try to get this off. See if I could just snap it off. Looks like it's snapping. Okay. Got that loose. I got this side loose. It's not off. Let's see if it pops up or anything. Nope. Pull it off around the edge here. I'm going to try to get this off. This one off. I can't find a set screw in this, so I'm just going to leave it if I can. It looks like it slides up on the top. Like this just slides out. But I don't see any kind of a set screw anywhere on this mirror. And I'm afraid to put any pressure on it. So I'm just going to pull this around the edge off. Maybe I can get it to go up on the other side of it. Nope. Nope. That's really weird. Let's see if I can just bend it around. Yeah, I can. And I'm just pulling it forward around these back slide things. I can't seem to, they're loose, but I've got to pull this little thing off. And maybe if I kind of whip this around this one side, did that and that side. Hey, I got the whole thing loose. I got the whole thing loose. I did not have to take the mirror off, although it seemed like that would have been the safest thing to do. And this is not coming out easily because it's too big for the opening. I can bend it, but I don't want to bend it too much. If I put the seat back, I might be able to buy another couple inches. There we go. Continue to work it out. There, got it out of the car. Monumentous pain in the rear. Well, this is what it looks like underneath. The ceiling actually looks in pretty decent shape. Here are some of the bolts that are sticking through that I have to hold my rack on, and of course they were just going through the sheet metal, so they didn't really hold super good, but 5 or 6 years is probably about the most you could expect. So I'm just going to put a washer and a nut on these, and that should fasten them back down. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. This is actually supposed to probably be tack welded. See, the tack welds have broken. I'm pretty much not going to worry about that. Using a wire brush and kind of just knocking any of this felt type material off of here. I really should be wearing a mask, so I'm going to go get one. This is the material I'm going to use. It's sure it's not the correct material because it has no foam backing. It doesn't stretch, but it's what I have, and hopefully it's going to be big enough to use on it. It's got little basketballs on them. Well, that's a bummer. I thought this was going to be wide enough to cover the whole thing. It's some material I had laying around the house. Well, it's a little short, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. Well, it's got a nice straight edge cut on this side. So there's a little bit of a bend in it right here, so I'm going to iron it out flat. And then I'm going to put some of the same material from here underneath this and glue this down on top of it. It's probably not the smartest thing to do because it's a lot of work and I could probably go out and get a new piece of material. But this is what I already have, so this is what I'm going to use. Maybe a 1/2 inch or so bigger. And see how much I can get on this. And maybe about 1 inch overlap. I got a little corner here that's not covered. Maybe a 8 by 8 area. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Bought this material about 10 years ago to make a quilt, never did. T-shirt quilt, this is going to be the backing. And I'll lay a piece right here. Never got around to doing that. So here's what I'm using it for. The main thing I need to concentrate on is this factory edge, because it's all curled and wrinkled. And if I get it to lay out halfway flat, I might have a better chance of getting it to glue down. As I said, I've never done this before, so I'm kind of learning. And you're getting the advantage of my testing, so if you ever do this, you can have better results without making as many mistakes. There are a couple of folds that I kind of want to get out also. I don't think they're really going to matter that much, but since I'm here, I might as well get rid of the folds anyway. Now there's a lot of this stuff that's kind of curled, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and peel most of this stuff off because it comes off relatively easy. And if not, I was going to just scrape it like this, but I decided, you know, it probably wouldn't take but another 10 minutes to get most of this stuff off. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how long it takes. Some of these, if it doesn't come off real easy, I'm just going to leave it. Just scratching it to get a little bit of it up so I can get a hold of it. Well, I got a lot of it off, but there's still quite a bit on here. I think I got enough off to just go ahead and spray it, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some like 60-80 grit sandpaper on a disc and see if that gets any more of it off. Again, I recommend putting a mask on. Don't know what's in that stuff. And you want to shake this can up for 2 or 3 minutes. The sanding did help. I got most of the curlies off. And I kind of flipped the can over both ways. I don't hear a ball in it, so I'm not sure that there is a ball in it. It's just barely tacky now, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I got my hand seems to work better than the I got my clean edge over here. I'm going to overlap this just a little bit. Because I want to overlap it just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on this and peel this back a little bit. And I got the factory edge over here, it's overlapping. Trying to pull it out so it covers all the edges. Now I've just learned that it just stepped in dog do for the record, that it doesn't like sticking to itself very well, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this all the way back, put a thin coat on it, or whatever I can get out of it. Pull it back. This sticks a lot better. A little bit on both sides. Little shield would have been good to have right then. Got a little bit there, but not much. A couple wrinkles here. Sometimes you make more of a mess trying to get them out, so I think I'm just going to knock them down best I can. Now that stretchable material that you're supposed to use probably is a little more forgiving with wrinkles, but I don't know. You come around these areas like this, it's pretty hard to get them to lay down good. Now because the back, I didn't spray the back side of it, I'm a little bit leery that might come loose, so I'm going to go ahead and peel that up a little bit. Using a little bit of contact cement in the bottle. Kind of old, I'm not sure how well it's going to work. Flush it on the back of the cardboard. Stuff is thick, and I think a lot of the material is breathable, so I don't think I have to wait till it tacks up. I think that's probably been part of my problem. Just go right away and it will dry through the fabric. Just cutting a couple of reliefs so it will bend easier. And just fold it over. I don't want it too long because I'm afraid when I go to slide it in, it will catch on something and pull off. Now I got this seam here. I can see there's a little bit of airspace under here where it's not bonded good. Most of it looks pretty good, a couple of spots. So I'm going to try something that may not be the best idea I've ever had, but I'm going to try using a heat gun and see if I can make that stuff sticky again, and maybe I can get it to grip better. Some of these soft spots here were because the material wouldn't stretch. You couldn't get in tight on the corner, but I can live with that. I can live with anything really. It's just a work truck. This is probably the loosest spot right in here, so I'm going to work on that first. It appears to be working really good. I heat it up where I can almost not touch it. I won't know for a while whether it actually holds, but it seemed like it worked pretty dang good right there. I'm going to work on a couple of these wrinkles and see if I can get them to look a little bit better. I almost wonder if an old iron would be the thing. I don't have an old iron, and if I use my wife's iron out here, I might as well slit my throat, so that ain't happening. A little bit of a bubble here. Now this is the worst wrinkle of the whole thing, so I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit better. There's 2 wrinkles here. The only thing I can really think to do would be to cut it, but I don't want to cut it, so I'm just gonna heat it up. Well, they're tighter. Now here's a spot where it's fairly far off. It's almost just less than a quarter inch right here probably. And the other side I was able to do a lot with. So let me see if I can get this to go down a little bit. I pulled it all the way down tight. Looks pretty good. Little bubble over here. Right there. I think the trick is to let the heat get through to kind of soften up the glue. And maybe the heat makes the fabric stretch a little bit, I'm not sure. This fabric has been washed, otherwise it'd probably shrink just by being in the car, which it probably will anyway. There you go. Up tight. Good, very good. Now I gotta cut these little holes for everything. This is like a diamond pattern or something more about, so I'm going to cut it in a cross. Let's see if I can just kind of tuck them around. Like that. Put a little glue on the back side if I can find the glue. So I can bend the fabric around and keep it there. Feel it? It's right there. So I'm going to go from long end to long end. This is a brand new blade too, so it's sharper. Put it there. This contact cement's kind of old and almost dried up, but it'd be enough. Probably not really that old. It's probably the fact that the lid wasn't put on. And just push this stuff around. And there's another one I have to cut out. And one right there I have to cut out. And probably a couple around the edges. Got a couple holes here. Big diamond here. The trick is to clear the mirror without knocking it off, and I gotta slide it above these things. Make sure they're loose. It's gotta slide right up here all the way to the back. I got that side in. Just slide it up into there. Pushing it up. Just kind of flop it in. Now the problem is I got to get it above the mirror, and it's not looking too easy. Let's see if I can just bend it without breaking the mirror off. There we go. Got it in. Above the mirror. Tuck it in on the sides here and the back. I don't see where these are lining up with anything right here. There we go. Let's see if I can just pound that back in. Got that one in. the end that goes down by the dash. It tucks in. This fits in front of that. You see, I got to go about a ½ inch lower. Sit down, I can see where the things line up. And it all tucks in. You're going to pull your rubber back. Probably have a tool for this, but I'm just using my thumb and finger and pulling it back and let it kind of go on the outside. Tap it in. Oh, there's it. There we go. And then I got to put this in, which I'm not going to do right now because I want to recover it with something. We're going to tuck this in behind this, same thing, pull the rubber back, the fingers and thumb. Tuck this on the inside of this, and then smack it to it. Grabs where it's supposed to go. Put the plate across the back. I probably didn't even need to take that off. I'm going to put that in right now. And we're going to wrap the visors with this stuff here. I didn't have enough of the blue to finish it up, but this is soccer balls, so that's going to work fine. All right, I'm going to cut them off right there. If I can find the scissors, which is right here. Because I don't have any more of the contact cement, I've been using clear caulk. This is the side that faces you. So I rather have this with less seams. So I'm going to flip it over like so. Come up part of the way. Leave a little bit on each edge. And I got to cut it around here. I don't want to cut the whole thing, I just want to cut a little bit of it. And I only need about 1 inch on the side. I can cut more off later, but let's just get it in the ballpark. This at a slight angle, just like I'm wrapping a package. Take it out. Find some. This is clear caulk. Because I don't have any more contact cement, which I would probably use, but since I don't have it, this is what I'm going to use. This thing's pretty old and a little bit warped, but like I said before, it's just a work truck. Hook this back up here through. Probably got to put a little caulk on this, I won't fight it. Okay, I'm just going to do this side too, what the heck. I just need a thin coat. I don't really want to make it super heavy. Okay, let's slide this sucker up through here. Ideally a little flat screwdriver would help. And then I'll wrap this up down there. Because it's clear, probably not the worst if I get a little on the outside. Matter of fact, I know I'm going to get some on the outside, but at least it won't be, it's not white or anything. I'm going to wrap the bottom around this, so I really don't need a whole bunch on the top here. I just cut this off. Same with this on this side. Okay, and we'll wrap this over. I'm not going to purposely get a lot on the outside. Now I do want a little on the edge here because that's going to keep it from shredding. Sorry, my son is in the back using my router, making more noise. Take a look at this side. This side don't look too bad, but let's go ahead and knock it down. And flip back over to this side. And I might as well cut a little more of this off here, just to make it a little easier. I'm wrapping it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and tuck this around. Put some glue on this side. I'll put a little glue on the back side of this a little bit, make sure it I'm just kind of putting most of it on the back. And of course, got to keep cutting off some of the extra. And now we're going to cut this side back. Got a lot of glue on this, so I'll take some of it off and throw it on here. And it probably is going to take a couple days for this to dry and to become clear. Hold it or cut it off. I'm going to cut it off. I don't care. Cut the inner part off. Keep a wet rag around because the stuff gets sticky real quick. Guess I'm going to have to just put some glue on it and tuck it up there. This is the opposite side. And I got to cut it a little bit further. That's probably good enough. Just get it mounted in the car without getting all screwed up, because I should let it dry, but you know, I'm not good at that. I did add an extra shelf, and it was made pretty much the same way as I did these. I get a piece of 1x3 or whatever, and I put a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, and I put a little edging on it so the stuff won't fall out, and I coated it the same way with the clear caulk and material. And so now I have a little place I can pull my notebook out of it and put my sunglasses away, and that's the finished product right there.